Haves versus have-nots. Haves versus have-nots. How many times have we heard of this? We hear this all the time. Now, here's one thing that I want to say before we get started. I understand have-nots. I am not in any way, shape, or form making fun of it or belittling it. But hey, I grew up in a very, very, very poor household. The government came and not only condemned our home, but I got taken away from my parents. So, grew up in foster homes and orphanages, and so I didn't have any family. I didn't have any money, and so when I turned 18, you basically get a duffel bag, and see you later. You're an adult now, so I totally understand have-nots. You know what I mean? Always had to rebuild cars, junk cars that I built up. Those were my cars. Always had different color, um, um, different color fenders on them. And that's just the way it is. Everything that I had was used. Don't ever remember buying new of anything. And so I do understand have nots. Now, there's this phrase that I know is true. You become who you hang around. So when I heard this statement, all you got to do is take, your 5 people that you hang around or listen to or watch the most. And all of a sudden, I hang around the wrong gang. I decided that for a party that I would take a beer truck out of a warehouse, and that didn't go over too well. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting in trouble and incarcerated, in a federal prison in Bismarck, North Dakota, for stealing a beer truck and having a big party. So I did that because the people that I hung around did stuff like that, right? And so now I'm trying to turn my life around, and I get in a dorm room. And so what I did is when I got married, and because my girlfriend got pregnant, you know how I supported myself is I basically took care of um farmhouses. And so I found an article that said, hey, you can live here for free as long as you protect and do errands around the farm during the wintertime. So that's what I did. So guess what? My furniture was bricks and wood. My wife and I were laughing because we watched a TV that it would do this tiling thing. And so we couldn't see the top of the screen. It would just come down, and it of course it's set on a cardboard box. And I'm not saying all this to say, oh, woe is me. Is that a lot of people always think that people that have always had, and I thought the same damn way. So when I seen people that had freedom and they had nice cars and they had nice clothes and they had nice homes and they traveled, I made the excuse up that, well, of course, they started with money. They started with education. They started with contacts. And that's the problem with have-nots, is have-nots have an excuse for everything. They have an excuse for everything. So if people are doing better than them, then they just basically beat them up. No one needs that many cars. No one needs that nice of a house. Who can clean it anyway? That's stupid. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't you know when you get a new car and you drive it off the lot that it immediately depreciates? Buying a new car is stupid. Snob hill, snob hill, you know, and when you're really at a have-nots, you basically look at everyone that has more than you, and you basically make up excuses how they got it, why they got it, what they did. I don't have any money, so you can't make money without money. Bullshit. I used to think this stuff, right? The other things that I did is we did a podcast called Self Doubt, right? And I had a lot of self doubt. And so I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I was enough. I knew I wasn't smart in school. I wasn't the smartest school in the kid in the school, sharpest tool in the shed. So, I worked as a laborer with my hands, being a mechanic, and that's how I supported myself. And so, it always had this weird thing, when a car would come in and it would be a brand new car and it'd be a brand new Supra or a brand new Lexus. And I'm like, ooh, these guys, right? And the reason that I thought and felt all this stuff is that I would go, I'm not educated. I don't have family and friends that have money. I don't understand how to run a business. I'm not a people person. It was all these things. I had a million excuses of not only why I couldn't have, but I also believed I didn't deserve it, that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't worthy, and had a lot of stinking thinking. And, I judged everybody. If you listen to me constantly, I'm always judging, 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 judging. Look at that stupid person, blah, 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 blah. And then a neat thing is I do understand being a troll and being a hater, because why not slam these people, right? Well, think about this simple thought. You'll never become what you despise. So if you despise money, if you despise nice things, if you despise people that have freedom and lifestyle, if you despise that stuff, then why would you ever want to become one of those people? And so it was obvious to me that I had a lot of bad thinking, and it got worse because now all of a sudden I'm a mechanic. And now all of a sudden, I'm starting to get on my feet a little bit. Now, when I mean getting on my feet, I'm still driving a used car. I did get a motorcycle, right? I bought a used motorcycle, and my wife and I lived in a studio apartment. You know what a studio apartment is, right? The living room's your bedroom. You sit on the end of your bed to watch the TV. And we lived in such a bad area. That's another one. You become who you hang around. That when we first showed up, there was a guy outside screaming, pissed off. And I looked outside and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Someone stole my motorcycle." Well, I had a motorcycle. And this one, we didn't get garages. We had these carports. And so every night after work, I would push my motorcycle into the elevator and turn in the mirrors and push my motorcycle into my apartment on the third floor every single night when I got home. Get up in the morning, push it back out, drive 2 hours to work. And I mean, it was just like I never could get ahead. And I'm just doing this, one day, living paycheck to paycheck only. If I could imagine, wouldn't it be nice? And then I got hurt on the job. Well, when a van came off a hoist, to show you how smart I am, right? I tried to stop it and it pinned me against my toolbox and it landed on my knee and hyperextended my leg, just tore my knee up. And so rushed to the hospital in the emergency room. And all of a sudden, you got this guy who looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you're not going to be a mechanic anymore. You're going to have surgery on your knee." Now I'm on workman's comp. And now my income goes from about 3,000 take home. This is in the mid 1980s, to $900. So now you know what happens, right? The first couple of months are okay. The third month, the banks start calling, the creditors start calling, the credit cards start calling, and they're going, "Hey, listen, if you're not going to pay for this stuff, we're taking it back." And so no electricity, didn't have electricity. I was getting evicted from my apartment. I basically Had my girlfriend, that's now my wife of 40 years, we got her a ticket and flew her home. And I'm all by myself in this little apartment with no electricity. And man, did I hate life. Can you guys imagine here? If you're good at imagining, imagine no electricity, but there's also no cell phones and no internet. So, not that I'm trying to beat you with the best have not story, but that's pretty bad. It got worse. I went and took my used Celica that had four corners, right? Different vendors, and I got a pawn loan. They gave me a pawn loan on this used car. And I remember that the payments were like $56. I think I ended up getting like $1,000 or something for the car loan. And I'm 3 months behind. So now the repo man is following me around. They sent me notices, we're going to repo your car. So now I'm hiding the car from the repo man. And things got so bad in my life that I was having some very dark and depressed thoughts that, hey, if I left this planet, no one would care. No one would care. So a little bit of, learned hopelessness. Oh, woe is me. I'm a victim. I'm in the blame game. I'm blaming everyone. It's that fault. It's the government's fault. It's everything's fault. I mean, and when it's that dark, there's really no place to go. So I remember just saying, man, if there's a God out there, I don't know what I did wrong, but man, I'm asking for help. If you want me to do whatever, you got my attention. I can't get any lower than this. And I had a friend reach out to me and he said, hey, Bobby, because I was a mechanic. And he said, listen, I met this guy. And you can go to roberthollis.com/free. This was my best-selling book. I'd love to give it to you for free. How is that working? So it's basically my story from rags to riches, everything that I did. And he said to me, hey, listen, I met this guy and he had a check attached to the stub in the company envelope. And this guy made $62,000 last month. Well, I'm trained to be skeptical. I'm skeptical. Yeah, it's like I'm so freaking broke, I can't pay attention. I'll say that again. I'm so freaking broke, I can't pay attention. Everything is too good to be true. That doesn't happen for me. That's fake. All of that. Well, I'll tell you right now how much of a have not you are. If it gets to a place where all of a sudden you go, listen, apparently I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not living like this anymore. Maybe your mind will be like a parachute. It only works when it opens. So I got rid of my ego, my know-it-all, my right fighter. Don't you find that these people that know everything and right fighters is like, wow, their life's not going very good? That was me. You look in Wikipedia, under have-nots, there was my picture. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I know when a lot of people get on here, it's like, well, have-nots got to do stupid other things. They got to think different. It's their attitude, blah, 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 blah. So I end up meeting this guy and he looks at me and the very first thing that he said, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Man, he should have not asked that question. How many of you, if someone's calling you and you see them on caller ID, it like starts sucking the energy out of you? You shake their hands and it's like, it's like, oh my God. He said, hey, so how are you? He should have never said that. Well, I'm waiting for my second surgery. I'm on workman's comp. I've lost everything. I got a repo man. They say I can't be a mechanic anymore. So I don't know how to do anything. I'm dyslexic. I don't have any family. Jesus, what else do you want to know? And I knew when he looked at me and he said, listen, what do you need to earn by the end of this month to make things okay? Keep your head above water so you can breathe. I went $3,800. He goes, what would you do with it? I said, first, I'd stop my car from being repossessed. I'd pay rent so I wouldn't get kicked out and be homeless. And I would get my electricity turned on. He goes, oh, he says, well, listen, I could show you how to do those things, but first you must want to change. He goes, it sounds to me like you're really good at telling your current and your old story. When you want to tell your future story, get back to me. And I remember being pissed off at him. I was like, how dare you whatever, you know? And so I remember going and chasing him down in my crutches. And the very first thing he said, Robert, he said, I'd like to show you how to do this business, but you got to understand that you don't believe that you're worth anything. I can't teach people that every day beat the shit out of themselves. He says, so I'm going to give you an assignment. If you do this assignment, it's going to change your life forever. And I went, okay. And then he showed me this book, Og Mandino's The Greatest Miracle in the World. And he says, you go to the bookstore, grab that book, read it, and then you give me a call. And I said, I'll do it. I'll do it. See, that's how I know that the have-nots don't want to be a have. I'll say that again. You could immediately tell that have-nots love being have-nots. Because as soon as a person that have tells them, hey, do this, call me back. Ain't got that. Ain't got that. It's like, holy crap. So I went to the bookstore, read the book. It emotionally changed me. And here's the only thing the book did. It made me realize that I was worthy, that I was enough, that I was unique, that I was a miracle. That's what the book did. And it taught me what to do in the story. I called up my mentor right away. I didn't know he was my mentor at that time. And I said, I just read the book. He goes, tell me about it. I said, it's hard to tell you about it. And he goes, why? And I said, because, man, it messed me up emotionally. He goes, why? And I said, I just realized in the book that I was just bitching and complaining and just being judgmental. And I just didn't have anything to be grateful for. He goes, do you now? I go, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And he goes, do you think different? I said, I not only think different, I feel different. And he goes, awesome. Now I'm going to teach you how to have. And the first step of that have was me learning to imagine again. See, I was so good at beating myself up and listening all to the bullshit excuses and stuff that I believed it. I believed that I didn't have a snowball chance in hell. If you asked me what was going on, it's saying same shit, different day. Well, at least I'm not dead. God, I was awful. Everything I do the best that I can. So when I was a negative asshole, I was good at it. Good at it. Very, critical, very cynical. had the answer to everything. My life was a freaking mess. Huh? I just didn't want my life to be a freaking mess anymore. That's all. I didn't want to live like that anymore. So when I did the assignment, he said, "What did it tell you to do in the book?" I said, "Well, it told me to read chapter 9 every night before I go to bed for 100 days." He goes, "Listen, Robert, people can't even do that. They can't do it." Wait a minute. They can do it, they just won't do it. And I went, "I'm going to do it. I am going to do it." And he said, "Listen, I can show you how to do this business. First, you got to get excited about your life changing, and you got to imagine your life the way you want it to be. Not worrying about money, having freedom, doing nice things for the people that you love, taking care of them, giving money to charity. And here's all I want you to do: get excited in that imagination. And then I want you to reach out to people, ask them if they know anyone that needs to make extra money right now. If it just was a couple of $100. And then they waste it when they say, "What is it?" Show them this video. And he gave me a VHS tape. And it was the VHS tape that I watched. This is 37 years ago. And that's what I did. He goes, "Robert, listen, it's easy to be a have. All you need to do is find a have that you like their lifestyle. You like who they are, how they are." I would guarantee if I went out to a lot of people today and say, "Hey, listen, I believe that Craig sent me a video recently." And the question that they were asking in the streets, you know what I mean, was, "Hey, tell me about an influencer that did a sex tape. Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian." I forget. They just started naming off people, right? And then they go, "Okay, okay. So now what? Oh, tell me somebody that inspires you. Tell me someone that's like a role model for you." Crickets. Um, um, yeah, that's not good. So I can help people get anything they want in life, but I don't find people that know what they want. See, they'll say, "I want money," and I'll hand them a $20 bill, and they go, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "Well, you asked for money. I gave you a $20 bill." "No, no, no. I need more money than that." "For what?" And so that's what my mentor did. He got me to imagine. And he goes, "Robert, there's other people out there that don't like their life. And if you find them at the right place at the right time, they'll watch the video. And when they watch the video and ask what to do, they'll follow instructions." Now, there's only one negative part of this. And I said, "What's that?" He goes, "Oh my God. It's in the IRS. It's in the IRS, stats and data. It's in the world's data." And I go, "What's that?" He goes, "Robert, only 18% of the people in the world make over $100,000. Only 18%. So you're going to have to go through a lot of have nots to find the people that want to have." And he says, "So you know what all the have nots have in common?" I said, "What's that?" He goes, "They all know people that have. They know people that are positive, living their best life, going on vacation. They have a beautiful home, a number of cars, new one for their wife, new one for them. They got motorcycles, they got boats, they got quad runners, they got everything." And he said, "Use the have-nots to introduce you to the people that have. Because the people that make 100 grand want to make more. The people that make 250 grand want to make more. They're already in that have. But the problem with people in the, probably 70 to 100 range, maybe a little over, they don't have freedom. They're working their asses off. And they don't understand the principles that J. Paul Getty brought up. Hey, if you can have, I'd rather make 1% off 100 people's efforts than doing 100% of my own. Compounding, you know, Albert Einstein, compounding's the eighth wonder of the world. Residual income. You know, Amazon makes $35 billion a year from Prime memberships. So you want to share something with someone that makes their life better, but they stay on it every month. And that's how you can keep making more money, more money, more money, more money, more money, more freedom, more freedom, more freedom, more freedom. So the difference between the have and the have-nots is they don't believe they can have. And so when you hang around people like me, I'm not bragging, but I'm telling you what, for 37 years since I met my mentors, I've never had a job. I've traveled the world with my family. I have the ultimate freedom. I did a video recently, is the art of doing nothing. J. Paul Getty said, listen, all you got to do is find something that everybody wants, that everyone needs, that constantly needs to be replaced. What is that? Lifestyle. Going on. Once I went on one trip outside of North Dakota, Montana, once I went on one trip, one vacation, I wanted more. So now you get to focus on the two things. The reason that people don't go on vacations is only two reasons: money and time. And when J. Paul Getty said this statement, you know why it's easy to be successful in the world? Because no one else is trying. No one else is trying. So that's what I did. I got excited about the possibilities of changing my life. I started sharing this video with a lot of people, asking them who do they know that's a have, that wants to have more, give more. And now I just got on a list of the top income earners over a lifetime as number 10 with over 60 million in earnings. I've helped 67 people earn over $1 million in commissions. 9 of them own their own marketing company. See, affiliate marketing is used by Amazon, Walmart, Microsoft, Apple, CVS stores, Tesla. If you're not monetizing your life, you're missing out. Every podcaster, every social media influencer uses affiliate programs to monetize their life. Why? Because life is frickin' expensive. Life is expensive. So, of course, money doesn't buy happiness, but neither does poverty. So, if you enjoy hanging around the have-nots, being a hater, being a troll, judging everybody and everything, living in learning hopelessness, being in despair, depression, not able to have incredible experiences. Come on, stop living the lie. It's not true. So all of a sudden, when I read that book, then he told me, hey, read this book. This is written 30 years before Think and Grow Rich by Wallace, The Science of Getting Rich. And that book took all my excuses away. I'm going, all right, I got this. I got this. And then from there, he asked me to read Think and Grow Rich. Not an easy book for me, but that's the other things I got. You know what I mean? That if I just had the courage to actually ask people to help me, that if I could share this wisdom with them, it would change the world. So there's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So share this with every person you know that complains. The government. You know, these wars, you know what I mean? The economy. It's like, what the F, man? Come on. But garbage in, garbage out, garbage in, garbage out. So all I did is change what was going in my ears, what was going in my eyes, what was going in my brain. That's all I did. And, you know, there's some people out there that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So do me a huge favor. If you like this video, like up on it, subscribe to the channel, click on that little bell so you get all the other things. And I do like 4 different lives. We do a podcast on Wednesday. We did that yesterday. uh, you know, how to handle self-doubt. Tonight, we're doing an inner circle. These are people that they want to get rid of all the things that are holding them back, the limiting thoughts, the breakthroughs. And then on Sundays, we do what is called imaginators, because a lot of people imagined, what's going to happen tomorrow on Friday? The movie If is going to be released. Do you know what the If stands for, the movie? Imaginary friends. See, when we were kids, we had a great imagination and everyone said it's okay. And then all of a sudden we started getting into school and it's like, listen, you need to put down that imagination and learn how to be a good employee. Do your homework, spit it out on a test. We'll give you a grade. We'll give you a couple recesses and lunch, and then we'll put you in public transportation back and forth to work. That's how you become have-nots. Being stuck in the matrix. So please do me a favor, share this video with others. I hope to help you in any way I can. And I'll give you one last thought. My mentors told me I can do this. And even though I haven't met you, I would love to. Because if I could get what's in my heart and soul and in my mind in yours, you will go from a have not to a have. And money just makes you more of who you already are. If you're the kind of person that got a credit card or you got an extra bonus or maybe a tax refund, and the very first thing you do is travel. I got my first card. I went to Vegas. I didn't pay my bills. I went to Vegas. All right. So maybe some of you will relate to me on that. But you can change things just like you change everything. So if no one's giving you permission to succeed and be fulfilled and happy, let me do that for you. Because my mentor said, hey, let me tell you where I used to be. Listen closely. Why is it that when you watch documentaries about Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone or any of these people, they all used to be have-nots? They all used to be have-nots. And they didn't want to be have-nots anymore. So how do you do that? Hang around people that have. Find people that were have-nots and now they're haves. And people go, why would they help me? Because the service of many is the only way to greatness. So I love and appreciate you, even though you don't know me. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. So see you on the next video. Tomorrow, we do another one called Ask Me Anything. Every Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern, I come on Zoom. You can come on it. You just have to go to roberthollis.com/AMA. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Craig. He's probably going, Robert, Robert, Robert. That's on Saturday. I'm sorry. So tomorrow's Friday. So on Saturday, you can watch the recordings on our YouTube of Ask Me Anythings that I've done for years. And this is people asking me questions about anything. So we're here to help you step by step, face to face on Zooms, if only you're willing to show up. So take care. See you on the next video and bye for now.